What's good, y'all? It's your boy KCB, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make your own melodies on FL20 using stock plugins. I'm going to go over some layering techniques, how I like to start out making my melodies, different scales you can use and all that. And first is going to be sound selection. I mean, you can of course use many different types of sounds to create the feel you're going for. Today we're going to be using just some keys on FL20. It's a stock plugin called FL Keys. So we're going to start with that. We're going to make some chords, start making melody, and see what we can come up with today. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and just go to our plugins up here in FL. We're going to hit that. It's going to bring our plugins up, and so FL Keys is just this one right here. So we're just going to open that, get that, and so right away it's already on the grand piano, so that's what we're going to go ahead and use. Alright, so make sure you go ahead and put it in the channel rack here, throw it on a mixer. And so one other thing you can do, some people like to start with a metronome, or sometimes I'll just do like a two-step hat pattern with a clap, just to kind of keep some rhythm. And then from there we're going to go to the piano roll here, and on the piano roll you can go up to the piano roll options, go to helpers, make sure your ghost channels is on because this will be very useful to have on. Scale highlighting. Today we're going to do a melody in the minor natural Aeolian scale here. Other than that, sometimes for a dark feel I like to use the Phrygian scale as well, but we're going to use the Aeolian scale for today. So you can see here with the ghost channels, so pretty much all of the black notes here are notes that we want to try and avoid, where all the other notes are what we can use in that scale. So that way you don't really have to know music theory as much. You can just throw this on and it'll at least give you a guide for what notes you can use. Alright, and then from here I'll usually just play around and pick some notes that I like and start making like my root notes for chords for the melody. So let's see here. And when I make chords now, usually I'll give it a little bit more of a bounce rather than having it go like the just one measure each note here. It usually gives kind of more realistic feel and gives the melody more bounce, so let's do that. Go ahead and speed it up a bit here. I'm going to do 164 on this one. Alright, and then from here, usually what I like to do is I'll just hit Control B, duplicate it, go up one octave, give it more of a full feel. Then from there we're going to make some chords, so you can kind of play around with the notes you have available, make some chords here. So let's see. Alright, so now we want to go ahead and give these chords more variety to it. So we're going to head and just play around here, see what we could do. Alright, so once we did something like that, we're going to go ahead and duplicate this and bring this down below, an octave below where we had the others. So you can kind of match it up here so you can see it there. So we're going to put it right here. Does it sound like this? Alright, so now we can play it and see in the EQ kind of where the sound is lying in this melody. It's going to be a lot more of a full sound than if we just had, you know, like one simple, you know, root chord here. So let's see. So you can see it's filling a lot of the like bass to mid area right in here. And so typically when you layer a melody like this, we're going to want to shoot for something that's going to be kind of in the high mid range sound around here. So that way it's not going to conflict with our piano chords. So we're going to go ahead and look for something that we can use and layer this melody with. All right, now if you just go back to the plugins, we are going to go to Sytrus, the synth classic here. You can go ahead and pull that up, and from there Sytrus has a flute, and so we're going to pick the flute here. And so what you're going to do is then you're going to make like the root notes that we had for the melody here. So we're going to lay it out. I'm going to play that. You can see the flute is in that kind of high mid range where we want it, and so from there I usually EQ it. So we're going to duck under a little bit of the mid from the piano, and we're going to go a little bit over the mid there, so that way it's going to stand out a little more. I'm going to cut the high a little bit more. We're going to see how that sounds. And so from there you usually adjust the fader to get it to how you want it to sound. Then I'll duck the high on the piano as well. Alright, now after that what I like to do is go ahead and duplicate the FL keys again. Then we're going to go back in the piano roll and we're going to put some high notes. We're going to use the octave that we didn't use. And we're going to go ahead and almost do like some rolls, or we're going to give it a little bit more bounce, and then you can EQ this so this kind of stands out a little bit more and doesn't just get, you know, drowned in the other piano noise. So we're going to go ahead and play with that. and then one important thing before we finish up on your melody is whenever you're making chords or anything like that, a great thing to do is hit Alt S, which will bring up the strumizer they call it, and so from there you can adjust the strength and the tension to where it's more natural, gives a more natural feel, so not every note is hitting the exact same velocity. You can go ahead and adjust that, but that's a big tip that'll definitely help out. And then from there, one thing you can do is, so sometimes like with verses or melodies or whatever, you can clone the keys again, or you can do this, sometimes I'll do it with a guitar or something else. We can copy and paste from our chords. We're going to go ahead in the piano roll, we're going to take out all of the other notes that we added, so it's kind of just back to like the chords how we had it. And then one thing you can do is from there you can actually hit Alt A, and that will actually make it into an ARP. Alright, so you can just take our chords here, you can select them and hit Alt A, and then that will make them into an ARP. You might have to delete, sometimes it'll make some really small notes that will kind of be like offbeat, and so you can delete those, but once you do that, it'll give you an ARP that sounds like this. So sometimes I'll use that as a transition with the melody, or for, maybe verses or something like that. Alright, and from there, now that we got our ARP melody, we got all the other chords and the layers laid out. From there, a few other things you can always do if you want to, mix up the chords or the second part of the melody is, you can duplicate it, and then maybe at the last notes you can go up another octave, or just even up a few notes just to give it a little bit of a variety, so that way it's not the same loop over and over. So you can go ahead and do that with either the chords or like a lead or anything else, just to give it a slight transition or different feel. But with everything that we just made there, this is what our melody sounds like. Alright y'all, so that's going to wrap it up today for how to make your own melodies on FL20 with stock plugins. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like, comment, subscribe, all that, share it. I'm going to be making some more videos like this, so stay tuned and we're going to keep grinding.